It's a cold and dark night in London. I'm 10 years old. Bernadine is cutting an apple with a really sharp knife. Slice by slice by slice. I then go and lock myself in the bathroom for the next 3 hours, anxious that Bernadine is going to kill me. Bernadine is the babysitter. This is what happened every time that Bernadine came to look after me. The only difference was the weapon of choice, which was sometimes a knife, sometimes a rope, sometimes poison, and every so often a gun, which looking back definitely wouldn't have fit into her small innocent handbag. I was born with a really active imagination, and it is my greatest asset, also my weakest link. The dark, weak link is that I have these paranoid thoughts, and the great asset is that I can dream big and bigger than ever before. I've imagined my own funeral hundreds of times. I've imagined my drink being poisoned, a flight on El Al to Tehran hacked and hijacked. I have imagined people coming to kill me in my own home and look through the door hole. And I've stayed awake and alert hundreds of times, ready for the killer, being the detective when the killer just doesn't exist. But out of the chaos comes the creativity. And there's wholeness in the horror if there is hope. And every time I dive into the darkness, I always come up to a much brighter light. I'm here. Bernadine didn't kill me. There are two challenges that come with this dark imagination. The first is that I have a terrible memory. So anytime I have this traumatic thought in my mind, I tend to forget everything that comes around it. And then I don't really remember anything in my life. But that enables me to dream much bigger for the future and come up with all these crazy, fantastical ideas for the future. I'm also dealing with this on a daily basis, but it's actually made me all the more resilient to approach my life and all the more confident with both my professional and personal life. I was born to dream, and I was actually born with this mole in the middle of my head. And when I was young, the boys in school would laugh about it, and I begged my mom to have it removed. And she said that one day you'll appreciate what you were born with. Today, it is the feature on my body that I appreciate the most. So in Hinduism, the third eye chakra is actually the key to our subconscious and provides us with the ability to dream. And scientifically, the pineal gland, which is further back, is actually what releases DMT every night and causes us to dream. So this is now my story. I'm a dreamer, as we all are. And my mission is just to empower those dreams. So 4 years ago, I created a company called Dreame, ironically. And we work with artists all over the world. So you can send in an idea, a memory, a story, a dream, and the artist will interpret it into an artwork that's then shipped to your home 2 weeks later, printed on phone cases, yoga mats, and prints for the wall. This is my yoga mat. We've had multiple dreamers from around the world submit amazing stories. So we had a dreamer who had a really traumatic dream when she was a child about babies and blood and witches. And she told us that when she even wrote the dream in the first place, it was so cathartic. But receiving the artwork was the most healing thing she'd ever done for herself, and she didn't have the fears attached to her from the dream ever again. We've had a dreamer who sent in something that happened to him that was really traumatic when he was young. And he connected with one of our artists in Ireland, and they spoke for 2 hours on the phone. And he shared with us that he received a whole new perspective on his story, and he learned so much about himself, and that too for him was also healing and cathartic. We've had a girl who wanted to fall in love, and she sent in this story, and the artist in Japan, who has no idea what she looks like or any of her friends, illustrated her and her best friend, who at the time was not her lover. Today, they are married. And we've had thousands of people send in their bucket lists, and artists have visualized those goals for them. And we've also scaled dreams to a more collective level. So we've created the Big Dream, which is an urban event, which is visualizing the futures of cities. So we started in Tel Aviv, and on the 21st of June, 2017, we gathered to puzzle together a huge artwork out of yoga mats. It's 6 a.m. My friends are slightly annoyed that they've come to help me so early. And they're also laughing about my dreams and naivety and these big hopes for the future. And one of the dreams that was submitted for the artwork was about teapots that are generating rain clouds. And my very rational friend lays out the first mat that puzzles together the clouds area. It's the longest day of the year, one of the hottest, and it starts pouring with rain. I have my 50 witnesses. We were all in shock. The dream had manifested. So dreaming, we all dream. We actually spend half of our lives dreaming. We spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping, and therefore a lot of that time is spent dreaming. And according to a study, a Harvard study 10 years ago, we spend 48% of our days daydreaming. And there's actually a lot of cognitive value in daydreaming. But when I look around and I see a lot of us on our phones liking, commenting, emojiing, sharing YouTube videos, I wonder, why are we not looking out of the window anymore, and how dangerous is that for this tool that we were born with to create and imagine? Some of the greatest inventions of all time have arisen in dreams. The theory of relativity, the sewing machine, the periodic table, and Google. Larry Page actually says, the founder of Google, to keep a piece of paper and pen by your bed because you never know what you might dream up of. And Einstein did say that the imagination is more important than knowledge. My daily mantra, also on my yoga mat. So I'm just here to remind us all to dream and to journal our dreams and to consider them a little bit more. And the next time that you might go to your phone to just explore someone else's life and be jealous of them or do one more like, think about those dreams and think about your next greatest invention that you can impact 1 billion lives with. Or just think about this super accessible tool that we were all born with. And I invite you all to think about maybe one of your greatest weaknesses or a feature on your body that you might not like, and how in a moment you can switch it to your greatest asset. William Shakespeare said, "We are such stuff that dreams are made of, and our little lives are rounded with a sleep." So thank you for dreaming with me.